and it was Bobby Santos, a man that has been so strong wherever he's run and competed. And today, the driver of car number 3, Tyler Ripkema, is the big story there.
Monadnock Speedway has such a rich history at a quarter mile here in Winchester, New Hampshire. And if you're watching on Flow, you'll be able to see some quick track facts. Opened in 1971, where it was dirt for half of it, and then there was pavement in the corners.
Sounds hard to believe, but that was really the case. Yeah. The legendary Dave Sutherland over the years told us exactly just that. And, of course, when it became asphalt, it got the name that is stuck from day one. They call it Mad Dog.
And there are some drivers who are mad at this racetrack year in, year out, but they're here and they're competing and trying to reverse that curse.
You know, you have to wonder, when we went through the paddock area and talked to these drivers, one of the key things that they all told us is this: the new track is different than the old track. Now, if you're watching at home on Flow and you're looking at the track, you say, what are those guys talking about? But in reality, it's the surface. And the key word we heard from everybody, Andy, is grip. How will that grip affect? We see a different atmosphere. Way back in July, it was hot and steamy here. Today, it is cool and I think fast.
It's been interesting to watch the 3 different races. It's 3 different stories and 3 different racing surfaces, essentially. You came out with the fresh asphalt in May. Jake Johnson was the winner. And then in the summertime, as you mentioned, the track had seasoned a little bit. We had Catalano winning, and it's seasoned again here in September. So the notebook that you continue to build for Monadnock Speedway changes seemingly from month to month.
You know, and we said there is such importance when it comes right down to it when we look at the foundation of how we got here today. Now, even though we're determining a winner overall or getting to the ceremonies for the crowning of a champion, Patrick Emmerling could be a crowning, well, an individual today with the running of the Winchester Fair event.
And they talk about peaking as well. And Emmerling, of course, he was fast out of the gate this year. He is likely one of the 3 fastest drivers in this class right now. And if momentum is anything, and race fans are saying, yes, it is. It's pretty much everything. This game is, it features physical product, but it's such a mental game. And right now, Patrick Emmerling's head is completely in the game. But he is the chaser in the championship, but he's the chasee in the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup.
Sure is. And now let's take a look at the other side of things for a very, very quick moment. What has been happening here? This is the final stop of the short track events. Now, you might not think that's a big factor, but here's the facts. It is Justin Bonsignor who is considered a legendary driver when it comes to competing at Riverhead Raceway. This guy's won a ton of races. He's won races here. He has what we would call the short track advantage. However, when you look at the stats on Ronnie Silk, guess what? They're not that bad. And from here on, we go to the extra distance events. And in just a moment, we're going to be taking a look at the redraw procedure as that's about ready to be brought up on the big board. And we'll take it in 3 parts, Andy. Fastest qualifier. Spins to determine if the top 4, 6, or 8, or 10 qualifiers will redraw for the starting position.
An interesting note, too, if we do 10, the only driver that has started from deeper in the field than 9th and won one of these races was Jimmy Spencer back in 1987. So Austin Beers, who set fast time, say he draws pill number 10. He really has his work cut out for him, and his chances of winning really shrink. If there's one person that can do it, it's Beers. He came from 17th to 2nd in the May race. So he's a driver that knows how to pass a lot of cars here.
Sure does. And then we go to redraw positions that will be picked based on qualifying results. Example, fastest qualifier, 2nd, 3rd, etc. And then it all comes down to that final tally. The number drawn for the bucket will be starting spots for each of the drivers among those top 10 positions.
So you lay it on the line. You prep all week. You try to win the race in the garage. You get to the racetrack. You lay down a fast lap, and then somebody spins the wheel, and you go backwards. Or you go frontwards. We're going to find out in a few minutes who does what.
We sure are. The drivers are out of their cars on the definitely will be standing on the right front wheel. You're looking at Justin Bonsignor right there in the Phoenix Communication Machine. They're part of the Catalano family, and there, of course, is Anthony Nocella. As we go, there's the Lutz Cracker, and right next to him is third-generation driver Austin Beers.
All eyes on Austin Beers. He has not finished outside of the top 5 in all of his races at Monadnock Speedway and the Whelen Modified Tour, highlighted by a couple of seconds. Still hasn't broken through, but it could be this evening.
Sure could be. And remember, he secured a victory at Lancaster, which is another very tricky and very impressive facility that these Whelen Modified Tour cars have run on. So, in just a few short moments, Jimmy Wilson and the entire staff of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour will give us the command. How it's going to work is simply this. We're going to do the driver's intro. So, ladies and gentlemen, get pumped up, make some noise, because we are about to present the starting lineup. The man that starts back in the 21st position will be driving the IronListing.com machine. He is considered a rookie on this series. Car number 10, for Bob Reese out of Elma, New York. Scheduled to start in the 10th row, starting position number 20. He has finished second in the point standings and a defending champion here at Monadnock. The 1812 Peyton Auto Body, Jeans Ford and Chevrolet Service. Car number 81. From Granby, Massachusetts, it is Nathan Wenzel. Moving now, 10th row, starting position number 19. He has over 100 career starts on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, the Bowie One Seafood and Restaurant Machine. From Calverton, New York, car number 18, Ken Heggie. Now moving to the 9th row, starting position number 18. He drives the Gunsmoke Stables, Horton Avenue Material, Danny Watts-owned race car. From Stafford Springs, Connecticut, would you welcome car number 82, the Woodman, Woody Pitcat. 9th row to the inside, 17th starting position, the Warnick Construction Company, number 19 car. This is the Mattawa, New Jersey standout for Anthony Cecily. It's time to take a look at row number 8, 16th starting position. He'll proudly represent today's sponsor, the USNE Power, Northeast Drilling Company machine. Ladies and gentlemen, from Owego, New York, keep your eyes on this driver. He's long overdue. Car number 3, the Bowler Racing Enterprises car for Tyler Ripkema. Our next starter to the field will start 15th position. Car number 79, the McKennedy Racing Enterprises car for a former championship driver of the Whelen Modified Tour. Ladies and gentlemen, from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, car number 79, John McKennedy. Now let's look at row number 7. 14th starting position. He is one of the best here at the High Banks. The J&M Towing Company, Pulak Wealth Management, Post and Beam Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bennington, New Hampshire, they call him Kid Kimball. Car number 43, Matt Kimball. We now move into the 13th starting position, and it is no surprise it'll be made up of a Catalano. The outstanding Catalano Motorsports family brings us car number 84. He'll be starting back in the 13th starting position from Ontario, New York. Believe it or not, he's a rookie, Tyler Catalano. Now we move to the 12th starting spot. There's no question his credentials are good. How good are they? Well, it's pretty easy to look at. He has been the guy that has taken down the most secured victories, and he has been the guy to watch this season. 4 wins to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, he received earlier in the paddock area the Whelen Riverhead Raceway winner of the event. Phil Moran prepares the automobile for the outstanding owners of the Blue Mountain Machine and Future Homes car. From Norwalk, Connecticut, would you welcome car number 16, Ronnie Silk. 11th starting position is another independent runner. This is the Dependable Energies Machine. This gentleman has had his days of brilliance, but on the Whelen Modified Tour, he's considered a rookie. From Waterbury, Connecticut, would you welcome car number 15? That is Joey Cipriano. Now we're moving into the positions that will be part of the spin of the wheel. Starting in the 10th position, or staged in the 10th position, this gentleman is a former champion as well. But, well, not in here in the Whelen Modified Tour, but he's done it well at other facilities. The Shalou Performance Machine, MTT, Munns Auto Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome from Bayshore, New York, car number 22, Kyle Bonsignor. Now, moving into the 9th position. Well, this gentleman, he's been here and he's done that. And that, of course, was one of the big stories this season. The Catalana Motorsports Machine, car number 56. It will be starting in our next starting position in row number 9. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ontario, New York, the talented and versatile Trevor Catalano. Now moving to row number 4, 8th starting position. He has been sizzling hot in this series, driving car number 1. The number 1 machine being prepared in the competition by Dale Hedquist. They are looking forward to a big run in the Fleetworks machine. Ladies and gentlemen, the outstanding driver from Orchard Park, New York, car number 1, it is Patrick Emmerling. 7th starting position is a man that turns wrenches, but in addition to that, he's a good driver as well. The Newtown Pools Karchner Warehousing Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on car number 21, the Warnick Motorsports Special, Stephen Kopsik. Now moving to the 3rd row, it will be a gentleman who's been here and done that this season. Setting behind the wheel of car number 60, the PD Motorsports Machine, the elite Mike Stein owned and crew chief car. Ladies and gentlemen, from Northampton, Pennsylvania, they call him Big Money Matt, and there's a reason. It is Matt Hirschman. 5th starting position, it is the man that is contending for yet another title. Ryan Stone creates the magic behind the screen for car number 51. He is the recipient earlier backstage of the Hoosier Tire lap leaders from the Riverhead Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, driving the Ken Massa Motorsports Machine, would you give a rousing round of applause, the Phoenix Communication car for Justin Bonsignor. Next we go to the 4th starting position, car number 54, another Catalana Motorsports car, this one prepared by Rick Kluth. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ontario, New York, Tommy Catalano. And now, in starting position number 3, driving in memory of the owner of the automobile, whose wife is running the operation, Michelle Davini, in memory of her husband, Mike Davini. The Extreme Racing, the Cella Paving, Bell's Septic Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, from Woburn, Massachusetts, car number 17, Anthony Nocella. And now, the people that are setting in row number 1, the story is, will they stay there? Time holds the answer, and a spin of the wheel will determine the start of all of that. Car number 46 is up next, outside of the front row, before the spin of the wheel. It is car number 46, the Goody Racing Enterprises machine, a car that carries the markings in remembrance of Jason Shepard, one of our great crew chiefs that has been a part of the historic series. The Riverhead Building Supply machine, would you welcome, they call him the Lutz Cracker, from Miller Place, New York, Craig Lutz. And now, let's meet the man that was fastest here today. He'll be driving a car prepared by Sly Zabin and Ronnie U. House. Murphy's Irish Angel, they refer to the car, the G&G Electric Supply Dell's Electric Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, from Northampton, Pennsylvania, 3rd-generation driver, and he is one of the smoothest in 2024, Austin Beers. Andy, that is our starting lineup.
What a solid starting lineup, and take everything you need to know about that lineup and throw it out the window. How deep does it get mixed up? Is it 4? Is it 10? Do we restart the top 8? We're going to find out. Austin Beers is going to spin, and let's send it down trackside to Jacqueline Drake.
So as things head down, Jacqueline is there, and there is the wheel. Jacqueline, welcome aboard our broadcast team today.
Thanks so much, guys. Before we get started for the Winchester Fair tonight, Austin Beers is going to make things interesting. As you all look down trackside here, we have the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour wheel, and this means that the pole award winner, which is Austin tonight, will spin this wheel, and it will either land on 4, 6, 8, or 10, and that will be the number of drivers that will redraw for their starting position tonight. So if you can't see it, race fans, look over here at the wheel and get your eyes on this, because this could change the game for tonight. Austin has made his way up into the grandstands and found a young fan, 7-year-old Trevor right here. You're going to spin the wheel right here on behalf of Austin, but before you do, race fans, what number do you think that they're going to spin on? We hear some 8 and we hear some 10s, but we need your help. Let's count it down. In 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. Austin feels pretty good about how that spin went, and here we go. It's a 4! That's exactly what he asked for. The top 4 is now going to redraw for starting position. Austin seems pretty happy about that. It's exactly what he asked for. Nice job, young man. Thanks for joining us down here. Miss India Martin has our bucket where the numbers are placed. So we'll go ahead and get the top 4 lined up. Some drivers have some T-shirts they're going to throw out to you fans. Yes, Austin will be the first driver to pick right here. We're going to try to keep it out of the eyesight, though. Down comes the bucket. What's going to be the number he pulls? 2. That's not bad. Austin, what do you think about that? I know it's just one spot back from where you qualify, but now starting on that outside position, is that going to affect your strategy at all?
No, Trevor did an awesome job doing 4. If I spun it, it would have definitely been a 10, so I'm really happy if you start second. I'll take that 100%.
Keeping your luck in the hands of a 7-year-old worked out for you tonight.
100%. He did a great job. Good decision by me, I guess, to go get him.
Nice work. He's got a T-shirt. He's going to throw it out to you guys. Race fans, let him hear it. Austin Beers starting in that second position. Nice throw. We'll make our way over Craig Lutz, who qualified in second. Time for you to redraw. Into the bucket he goes. And out. Let's see it. Oh, there you go. The one position, just swapping it around. Craig, what do you think about that? You obviously finished on the podium last week. Had a great qualifying effort, but now one spot better.
Yeah, no, anytime that helps. You know, Trevor did an awesome job in narrowing it down to 4. So, hey, anytime you can start on the front row is good. So, hopefully we can stay there and be there at the end.
Is that inside position where you want to be ultimately?
Yeah, ultimately, you know, to lead the race is, you know, you can set your own pace and go from there. So, hopefully we can stay up there and try to hold all these guys off.
We're going to find out. Good luck to you tonight. Craig Lutz. Now, Anthony Nacella, he is going to pull a number, either be a 3 or a 4. And out of the bucket, he comes a 3. Lucky number 3 for you tonight. And he's got a T-shirt he's going to throw out to you, race fans. Let him hear it. Anthony Nacella. Nice throw. Man, I'm impressed. I was worried you guys weren't going to be able to get over the fence. And Tommy Catalano is going to pull that final number 4. We're going to keep that clean and green for you. Congratulations. You're going to start at 4th. You qualified at 4th. Any thoughts going through your mind before you get strapped in?
I can't complain with even drawing 4th, so this is the closest to the front I've been here probably ever, so usually we struggle here. Hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling tonight.
You definitely have a quick modified. He's going to throw his T-shirt out to you guys, race fans. Put your hands together, let him hear it, and the drivers are going to make their way to their cars and get strapped in for the 200 laps ahead.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline Drake, and we'll check in with you with various pit reports throughout the 200-lap Winchester Fair, second annual event, where last year Justin Bonsignor put the smackdown. You know who struggled last year was Ronnie Silk. He finished outside of the top 10.
And there was a real story, a side story that took place there. Phil Moran said they came here with a good setup based on the old asphalt and the old surface here. That is not the case here today, and they were confident after practice that they were going to be among the quicker cars in the competition here. So what we've done the spin of the wheel, we've done the redraw, we know where the top 4 are starting, but right now let's take a look at the race within a race. And, Andy, the story here is the Granite State points.
And you look at the Whelen Modified Tour point standings, and you see them as they are. They're going to look a little different when it comes to this particular 3-race series. All the races happening right here at Monadnock Speedway. Currently, we're looking at the Modified Tour standings where you have Ronnie Silk, Justin Bonsignor, and Patrick Emmerling. Those are your top 3 for the regular NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. That's the season-long championship. This is going to be the championship decided here this afternoon with its 3-race series. First race won by Jake Johnson. There was also Trevor Catalano winning in the second race. And who's going to win the third?
Well, who knows? Today we are about to put it to the test. But a look at it, here's what we see. Based on the points across all 3 events, first place, $3,000. Second place, $2,000. And rounding out the podium finish of third, $1,000. Then, Andy, there's a bonus.
Yeah, if you have the best average finish and you don't win if you do win, then obviously you get the bonus as well. $1,000 bonus for the driver with the best average finish. Best average finish amongst these 3 races, where Patrick Emmerling comes in with a 3-point advantage over Matt Hirschman, 4 points over Ron Silk. Now, Silk will start 12th here. No one has won that deep in the field, or after starting that deep in the field.
Well, that doesn't mean it can't be done, Andy.
Could see a history-making night.
Yes, you sure can. Just 3 points back is Matt Hirschman. Ron Silk, in a blink of an eye, is 4 points back. Jake Johnson, not here with us today. That bumps Austin Beers into the 4th spot, 6 points off the mark. And rounding out the top 5, it is Craig Lutz. When we went back to the points on the Whelen Modified Tour, there was a great battle, and it's just 10 points between first and second. Oof. Now, you might think that's an amazing small margin, and it is. But the real truth of the matter is Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignor, they have raced up on the wheel every lap at every racetrack this series competes. And it's not going to be over till we visit Martinsville. But what happens here today, presented by JDV Productions and Josh Venata, could change the whole outcome of 2024.
The 2023 Whelen Modified Tour Championship was greatly affected by what happened here at Monadnock Speedway. Not necessarily in the outcome, but in the stage that was set for the outcome, with Silk having a lot of problems here in the Winchester, the Winchester Fair last year. Regulated back outside of the top 10. That really closed the gap and created the drama for the series finale last year.
Certainly did. Let's go back into the history books. And one of the stories that we told earlier today, that there has been only one individual that was able to do an amazing job, and that took place back in 2014. What he was able to do back then was lead each and every lap. There was not a caution in a 200-lap event. You know who that driver was? Justin Bonsignor. Will that happen today? Well, only the powers to be knows. But there's one thing for sure, that the fans that have come out to the high banks of Monadnock are in for a real treat.
And they get to send these drivers off in style together as an in-person crowd. Heck, even on Flow Racing, yell in your living room, yell in your condo.
Yell at your TV.
Yeah, it's like it's the first time it's happened. Come on. So we're all going to give the command to start the Winchester 200 in just a few moments. So get your outdoor voices ready.
Sure is. 1 minute left in the countdown as we're working our way down in this one. as we said before. And what a beautiful facility. For those of you watching Flow on home, take a look at this facility owned by the Wren family, and it is truly a short track premier facility. In 2024, we've seen some of the best competition ever.
And it's about to ramp up again for 200 laps. This race is presented by USNE Power. In the backdrop of the Flow screen, you can see that orange tower. You can see just a little clip of it. But it's 150 feet tall, and they work on a lot of the lights. And as a matter of fact, some of our lights coming on now because we're going to have some racing under the lights before this is all said and done.
And you know, they are leading industry folks. And as you're looking at the parade of cars that are assembled on the front straightaway here for this afternoon's event, and what a great season it has been so far. Big story here today. The weather is a little bit different than the previous two races here. What do we mean by that? It is a brisk fall afternoon. Cool temperatures, you know what that means, Andy?
Fast,
very
lightning fast. And then the cars get 10 miles an hour faster when the lights come on. It's legitimately science.
It sure is. And there is that big piece of heavy-duty equipment that is a part of the festivities being brought to us today by the good folks that are on hand, well represented from USNE. They've come into the marketplace of racing.
Well, what do you say together we start this race? So whether you're in turn number 4, whether you've been celebrating with a Mad Dog Brew in turn number 1, if you're in your living room, if you're in your condo, let your neighbors know that you're watching Flow Racing and you're ready to get the Winchester Fair underway. On the count of 3, drivers, start your engines. 1, 2, 3. Drivers, start your engines!
There's nothing like it. The sound of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. The premier, original event, the oldest division in NASCAR. And that's just one of many stories. The Ground Pounders, as they are often referred to, 2,600-pound rocket sleds. We're being told from race control that they're going to be going 4 circuits. And, of course, the big send-off and the big wave before the excitement begins for this afternoon's event.
Matt Kimball cannot wait to get underway. He was quick to take off, too. And if anybody is going to win this race from 10th on back, you have some heavy hitters. I mean, this could be a day that changes history with John McKennedy in the 79. He's won here before. You have Matt Kimball, who knows his way around here. You have Ronnie Silk, who's the championship leader.
You sure do. And don't forget the other guys that have been there and done that this season. The Catalano family, they've put their name stamped on the posted card that says winner from the High Banks. They've got 2 more players in this one. They'd like to add their name to the list as well.
Ben, after the mix-up, or actually after the redraw, not a mix-up, but the field is mixed up in the top 4. You see Craig Lutz, he'll be sitting on the pole. Austin Beers to the outside. Nocella and Catalano stay exactly where they drew anyway. Yep. But then Justin Bonsignor and Matt Hirschman, followed by Kopsek in number 21, and then Patrick Emmerling in car number 1. You want to watch Patrick Emmerling because he's racing for a championship this afternoon. He is the driver they are all chasing in the Wheeling Granite State Short Track Cup. Over $20,000 in bonus money this year for just these 3 races, and over $50,000 for the 3 years that Wheelin's been sponsoring this event.
Sure has. A lot of extra money that is up on the line. There's a look at the reshuffled field back in the 7th spot. Tyler Catalano, Matt Kimball, the hometown boy. John McKennedy makes up row number 8 with Tyler Ripkema.
Anthony Sesley goes next in number 19, followed by Woody Pitcat, starting deep in the field, but he knows how to pass cars. He'll get there in a hurry. Ken Hege in car number 18, followed by local Nate Wenzel, former NASCAR champion at this facility in the modified number 81, and then Bob Reese in the number 10 will complete this field as they work lap number 2 of 4 of the pace laps. And folks, get ready to send these drivers off in style, not necessarily this time around, But get ready to stretch out, stretch your hands, and find the driver that you would like to see as the champion for the Winchester Fair, where Justin Bonsignor broke through last year in the inaugural event. Can he back it up? Is he your driver? How about Patrick Emmeling? How about Austin Beers? How about Craig Lutz?
Or will it be a long shot? Will it be a Steven Kopsick, maybe a Woody Pitkat? Or will it be Kid Kimball? Or will it be the Wenzel kid? Nobody knows the answers to all those questions on this, the JDV presentation. One more time around. Let's make some noise, everybody. Don't just sit in the grandstand like a lump on the log. Andy, we need some excitement.
Yes,
What's going
we
on?
do. We're going to have 200 laps of this, and we are going to turn them loose this time off of turn number 4. Green flag to fly, and the Winchester 200 is underway.
Bottom of turn number 1. There's no question that Lutz has the advantage, but right there with him, down the back straightaway, it is Austin Beers. Side-by-side race, Matt Hirschman, car number 60. The yellow and red car to the outside of your screen. He's trying to make the move in the upper lane.
Everybody ran to the bottom side of the racetrack, and Hirschman says, hey, okay, I'm going to stick to the top side. He's grabbed one spot. He wants another one. He goes after Catalano in turn number 1, but now backs down and goes to the inside.
There's no question. Hirschman is smart enough. His spotter got him down in the inside groove. Then there's a side-by-side bid. Patrick Emmeling, car number 1. The Fleet Services car.
Ronnie Silk.
Oh, the bad luck continues. Remember the last time.
Ronnie Silk does not like Monadnock Speedway, and the Gremlins rear their ugly head on the number 16. Your championship leader has a problem in nearly the identical place he had an issue last year, and that is his kryptonite turn number 4. If you're watching on Flow, you'll soon likely get a replay of this one, but it was a big mix-up about mid-pack for Ronnie Silk, and again, the beginning of the Winchester Fair, not kind to car number 16. He's got a lot of work to do this afternoon.
He was running in the 12th position when the car broke loose, coming off turn number 4. 5 laps and counting under the first caution of the event. Caution flag comes out. Lutz has been the early leader. Here's a replay. Andy, watch this. Not your front pack of cars, midfield.
Oh.
Silver and neon goes around. There might have been some contact. Cipriano was involved there with car number 15. We're not sure. Tough angle to call that shot here. But you're looking at our front competitors in the top 4 positions. And, of course, Lutz is there with car number 46. Great story. We know the story of Lutz. He vacated this ride for a while. He tested the waters. He went to a bunch of other teams. Among the teams that he went to was the 82 team. He had some success there, but he came shy, and he felt more comfortable in this particular racing operation.
There have been only 6 laps in this race, 5 of them green flags. Starting in 18th was Woody Pitkat. Car number 82, Ben, you mentioned that race vehicle. It is now up to the 13th position. Woody Pitkat is on a charge this afternoon, and he is right behind one of the local stars, Matt Kimball. Car number 43 has really taken to racing on the tour in his limited regional appearances. He's been a star of what the ladder system that is the Granite State Short Track Cup is designed for. Drivers who would normally run the tour because it's such a big bite to take, but you eat the elephant one bite at the time. And he took a bite out, and it's been a big one. He has had success anytime that he has been on the racetrack.
He sure has. And as we look at timing and scoring, Steven Kopsick is the highest running rookie at this point. He's sitting in the 6th position, 1 spot ahead of Matt Hirschman. Kyle Bonsignor back in the 8th spot. Trevor Catalano is in 9th. Anthony Nacella, he lost several positions, but as you look at the cars that they're running on the racetrack, you'll see that things have now settled back in.
I'm watching Ronnie Silk at the back of this pack. We're not on camera right now, but he had some choice words for Cecily. As here we go off a turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. We're back underway.
Off the turn, here comes Austin Beers. Digging in high on the outside of the racetrack. Lutz is there down low. He'll lead lap number 10.
Remember, this race is all about tire conservation. 200 laps on the quarter mile at the Mad Dog. So you can't burn your stuff up on the outside, but you gotta go, and you gotta go in a hurry.
No question. Keep your eyes on Matt Hirschman. He went to the outside, tested the waters, pulled it back in, dove to the inside. Catalano is following him through. That, of course, is a great battle with car number 54. Meanwhile, here comes Kopsik. He's contending among the top 6 cars. Lutz is still the leader. 12 laps in and counting.
Racing for the Granite State Whelen Short Track Cup, and then you have Patrick Emmerling down on the inside. He is ahead of Justin Bonsignor on the racetrack, and he's not ahead of Matt Hirschman, though. As it stands right now, Matt Hirschman would be your trending point leader in the Wheeling Granite State Short Track Cup, but just by a couple of positions, a couple of points. It's going to go down to the last lap with these drivers.
Look at Nocella. Perhaps the brightest car in the field becomes a blip on the radar. The Extreme number 17 car carrying Mike DeViti's momentum. He runs side by side in a bid for third. Hirschman continues to dig on the bottom. Can't do it. Down the back straightaway, they're still wheel to wheel.
What a thing of beauty to watch that 17 on the outside, and now Austin Pierce watches up the racetrack right in front of him. The outside line has really come into play here in just the first year of pavement. Not something that you see normally on a new repave, but Monadnock Speedway giving 2 clear racing lanes on the track as we watch the battle back into turn number 1. Pierce now on the outside. Here comes Hirschman for second.
Hirschman makes a bid for it. You're looking straight head on. Now looking at the back end of the machine. Matt Hirschman moves up, picks up a spot. Hirschman is now in second. Like a man possessed. He sets his sights next on Lutz, the black number 46 at the point. Now, Anthony Nocella changes his line. On the last restart, he was in the outside lane. He tucks it down low. 6 cars in the conga line. They come back off turn 4.
Further on back in the pack, you have Matt Kimmel making some big moves through the pack. Single file up in front, and Matt Hirschman, the 2022 champion of the Granite State Whelen Short Track Cup. He picked up thousands of dollars and was not going to, he did not plan to run the Whelen Modified Tour as much as he did that season, but he did specifically because we had these 3 races. He ended up the champion, and he is back here in 2024 trying to pick up his second of 3 championships in the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup.
Let's go back to the bottom of the top 10. Here's what you're looking at. All of a sudden, a shuffle of the deck. And what the story is suddenly is simply this. Woody Pitkat has moved into 10th. That bumps Stephen Kopsik to 21. Back to 11th. 12th is John McKennedy at 79. And rising to the top like the cream, it is car number 16, Ronnie Silk. From the first caution of the event, he is already halfway through the field.
Driving like a man possessed. I wondered if he had flat spotted his tires after that spin in turn number 4, but the wily veteran like he is goes to the inside of John McKennedy. They're 2x2 off of turn number 4.
Down the back straightaway. Here comes Silk. John McKennedy's car loosens up. They sway to the left, but to the bottom of the turn, give the next position to the driver of car number 16. Silk is moving forward with a vengeance.
Trouble in turn number 4. One driver goes up in a cloud of smoke. That is car number 10 as they are slow around the racetrack. We stay green, but Ronnie Silk cannot afford to sit at all, because if he takes a few laps off, he's going to be in danger of going down a lap before you know it. This is only a quarter-mile racetrack. They go around it in a race time of about 12 seconds flat, and Silk now going after it down into turn number 3 this time.
Meanwhile, look a little further back in the field. Some of the locals. Kid Kimball with the number 43 car. He's trying to work his magic. He's in the 9th position. Woody Pitkat is 10th. Silk is still in the 12th spot. Still trying to work his magic and get back into contention here.
He's racing.
Leader is already coming up on lap traffic, Andy, and that shows you exactly the theory that you just presented.
Yeah, Ronnie Silk needs to go, and in a hurry. He goes down to the inside, picks up the spot on Stephen Kopsik, and now Ronnie Silk is actually further on up in the field than he was when he started this race. That's how much of a driver he is. Within the first 30 or so laps of this race. We're now working lap number 35. He was mired back in 19th. He's up to 11th. Silk knocking on the top 10.
The story here is going to be tires. Will he be able to run this pace? Remember, when you pit, you can only put on one tire per entry to the pit area under caution. Back to the front of the field, Lutz is continuing to maintain the margin between him and Hirschman, 0.504. Beers is directly behind them, and among the quickest cars in the last lap, believe it or not, was Patrick Emmerling with car number 1.
We have yet to see the strength of Patrick Emmerling here tonight. He's just kind of biding his time. He's doing what he has to do, and that is keep Justin Bonsignor behind him. He can't really do anything about Matt Hirschman right now. Bonsignor, the 5-time winner on the Whelen Modified Tour here at Monadnock, and he leads all winners, or all drivers, by a mile. Doug Coby is the only other driver to have multiple wins here at this facility.
Bob Reese just went down a lap, among the first cars to go down a lap here. You're looking at the 64 of Austin Beers, the car that is currently running in the 3rd position. Matt Hirschman to the right, now to the left of your screen. That's the elite number 60 car. And Hirschman has the ability to ride things out and only go when the money is on the table.
In just a few laps, they're going to hit some more lap traffic. And say in about 10, 15 laps, they're going to hit Nate Wenzel, and they're going to hit car number 19 of Anthony Cecily. Now, those drivers have been putting on one whale of a battle at the back of the pack, and they have thrashed on each other a few times. They are battling for position. Now, you put them in a position where they're trying to race each other for a spot on the racetrack, but also be respectful to the leaders. We're going to see the yin and the yang to that in just a couple of laps. It could really shake things up, probably around the lap number 60 mark.
Ken Heggie is the next car to go down a lap, car number 18. Meanwhile, you're looking at Ron Silk. Silk moves down underneath Woody Pitcat. That will put Ron Silk into the top 10 for the first time this afternoon, 45 laps in. Running in his tire tracks, his old buddy, Woody Pitcat, hunting him down as they come off the turn. Silk's next target becomes Matt Kimball, running in the 9th position.
Nobody had passed more cars than Woody Pitcat, and then you throw Ronnie Silk into it. Ronnie's actually passed more vehicles, but his starting position and his current running position won't reflect that. Silk was back mired to 19th and is charged to the top 10. Right on Matt Kimball as we focus in on a good side-by-side battle. Actually, now we'll go back to the leaders, Craig Lutz, and now Matt Hirschman begins to reel him in a little bit. It was about 7 car lengths, now about 4 into turn number 1.
It certainly is all starting to change, and we're not sure exactly what the situation is. Is Craig Lutz's crew telling him to back off and save the tires? Is Hirschman's crew telling him, get up on the wheel, get around Lutz? That's where we need to be. We won this thing already this season. We want another victory. Back off the turn. You're looking at Craig Lutz, the current leader. Car number 46. Commanding lead out front.
You watch the number 60. He is right there. And remember, he's not racing for points this year, but he is racing for a championship. So it's all about big money, Matt. And Whelen has put on some huge money, over $20,000 this year, spread out across the 3 races here at Monadnock Speedway. And Matt wants a lot of it.
Good battle now shaping up. Guess what's happening? We got Ronnie Silk up to 8th position. And guess who's in position number 7? Car number 51, Justin Bonsignor.
About 20 minutes ago, I would have never thought that Ron Silk would be on the mission that he is. I thought it might be another, well, you just take what you can get at Monadnock, because, Ben, as you pointed out earlier in the show, this is not where Ronnie Silk succeeds the most. He's more of a bigger track driver, where when we go to North Wilkesboro next and go to Martinsville, that's more his speed. So he just really had to get out of Monadnock with a good finish.
Certainly has. Now take a look at this. Watch the 51 machine. Let's get our cameras focused in on Justin Bonsignor. He is the guy that is moving forward. He's all over the back bumper of Tommy Catalano. That's the bid for the 6th spot. Ronnie Silk is behind him. All of a sudden, Silk tries to run to the bottom of the racetrack Andy. He can't do it. He pulls back into formation.
Well, Ronnie Silk has to go like he's going now if he wants to compete and have a good shot at winning the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. The other side of that, though, we talk about tire conservation and preach that and preach it week in and week out here at Monadnock Speedway. Let me tell you, Ronnie Silk is going to run the risk of burning up his race car by about lap 125 or 150 when it is real money time for the final 50 laps if he keeps it up. But the other side of it is he can't lay down. He can't be lapped. He can't fall back to 15th or 16th because he's running for multiple championships.
Sure is the story, and you're looking at it right there as the Phoenix, number 51, prepared by Ryan Stone. And he is right there on the back bumper. Silk continues to follow. Here's Bonsignor. Takes a peek at the inside. Gets on the binders. Can't do it. Ronnie Silk is there.
I was about to say that this is the quietest we've seen Justin Bonsignor at Monadnock Speedway in quite some time. He really smoked the tires that time on the entry of turn number 3. Here comes Ronnie Silk. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Silk get by him either this lap or next. He's really just a man on a mission right now. Here he goes. Looks to the inside going down the backstretch.
Doesn't happen yet. Our attention shifts back to the front of the field, and we've got a bid for the lead. It is still Lutz, but Hirschman has reeled him in. 0.2 of a second separates first and second. That simply means that Hirschman is coming. He is a man on the prowl.
Here comes car number 60, the PD Motorsports ride of Matt Hirschman. Big money Matt, trying to win $3,000 bonus money for the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup here this afternoon. So big money for the winner, big money for the top 3. And that rhymes, well, it doesn't rhyme, but it goes great with big money Matt. As we go down into turn number 1, he's still about 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Craig Lutz, who has led a ton of this race. Nobody has led more laps at Monadnock this year than Craig Lutz.
Craig Lutz just doing a fine job of maintaining that margin. He's guarding the inside lane. Hirschman can see an opening, but not enough to get the job done. Here comes Hirschman, puts 2 wheels down underneath the line, pulls it back into formation. Lutz sees nothing but traffic up ahead. Reese will become the next target. Going down yet another lap, but the leader still remains Lutz. Hirschman is still running in second. And what about Justin Bonsignor? He's up to 7th. Ronnie Silk is in 8th. Tommy Catalano is in position number 6.
Craig Lutz has led nearly 270 laps this year at Monadnock Speedway in Whelen Modified Tour competition. 105 laps. 105 laps total in the first 2 races, including 99 in the duel with the dog. He is up front and now begins to pull away a little bit, but heavy lap traffic ahead of them.
Well, you can lead a lot of laps, but you know what's the most important one? You know the answer.
200.
The final one, and that's what he is trying to do here today. We are soon just about 25 laps shy of the halfway marker, and Hirschman is doing what he does best.
Yep.
Running right there, every circuit. Maybe this is the right strategy. He's not letting Lutz get far out of his sight, but he's not overdriving his race car. And now, you can see the margin still continues to remain the same between first and second.
Matt Hirschman is quite the stoic competitor, but he really got flustered when he drew in the last race, which kicked him back a little bit. He wanted to be close to the front. He's closer this time, and now he's going for the lead in turn number 3. They're even, and that's the position he was waiting for. That was the moment he was waiting for. Brand new leader, Matt Hirschman in turn number 2.
It takes place on lap number 77. In the blink of an eye, Matt Hirschman becomes the second leader of the event. Lutz drops back into the second position. Another car that is on the prowl. You're seeing the battle right now is car number 1, Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling just went around Anthony Nocella. Patrick Emmerling will pick up the 4th position, bumping Nocella back to position number 5.
And I'm sure his spotter has been on the radio saying, you're going to lose the Granite State Short Track Championship if you don't start moving now, because as soon as Hirschman went by, and Hirschman came into this race 3 markers behind Emmerling, that gave Hirschman the lead. And now Emmerling trying to fight back and pick up the championship worth thousands of dollars thanks to Whelen. And look at this, something that you would not have expected. Matt Hirschman getting ready to put down John McKennedy a lap. McKennedy about to go one lap in arrears as your camera focuses on the battle of Patrick Emmerling and also the number 17 of Anthony Nocella.
Well, that is the 16th and 17th place cars in this event. That's what you're looking at right now. Patrick Emmerling still continues to try to string it out. Meanwhile, John McKennedy not up to speed the way we usually see him. He's got a loose race car coming off the exit and entrance of the turn. Back up front, still going on. It is still Hirschman. Only 2 leaders in 86 circuits. Now let's go back and look at Justin Bonsignor, who's now up to 7th. Ronnie Silk is in 8th position. What is the difference between the two? Silk has passed more cars to get there, and Bonsignor, if he's saving anything, it's got to come in the second half.
It's going to be interesting to see how the last 50 laps of this race pan out because, to your point, Ronnie Silk has passed 12 cars to get to where he's at. Justin Bonsignor's barely passed anybody, and he's just kind of sat there inside the top 10. And I wonder if Ronnie Silk has saved his season because if he sat in 18th or 19th position, he would be down a lap as of right now. So if we get a caution flag, then Ronnie Silk, he's not on the lead lap. He doesn't have a chance to really advance his position. But as a result of going around all the drivers he has, including Woody Pitkat, who stayed right with him for the balance of the last 10 minutes, Pitkat's putting on quite the show.
Keep your eyes on this situation with Hirschman. Hirschman continuing to run through traffic like he's taking a hot knife through butter. He comes up next on the number 22 machine. That, of course, is currently running back in the 15th position. Here comes Hirschman, leading that charge. Behind him, directly, still is once the early leader of the event. That is Lutz, and then Austin Beers.
Beers coming into the picture for the first time this afternoon. The driver who set fast time has closed in on Craig Lutz. You're watching car number 46, and now 64 is on your screen. The 20-year-old driver with a couple of wins to his credit. Has a couple of couple of second place runs at Monadnock Speedway. He's never finished out of the top 5, but he's yet to break through to victory lane here at Monadnock Speedway. Came into this race number 4 in the point standings, 6 points out of the point lead in the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup.
He is a guy to keep your eyes on, and he continues to run right with the Lutz number 46 machine. Currently, you're looking at our third place runner. That, of course, is Austin Beers. Beers continues to run tight to the back bumper of Lutz. And then behind Beers, guess what? That number 1 car, Patrick Emmerling. Andy, why is that so important? Because even though Hirschman is leading, Emmerling is moving in. He's in 4th. And guess what? The Winchester Fair money is in striking distance for both of them right now.
Yeah, Patrick Emmerling. There are so many different drivers with storylines going on right now. You have the battle for the Whelen Granite State Short Track Championship, and you have right now Matt Hirschman up in front. But if Emmerling can get by Beers, then all of a sudden he's going back to the point lead. And there goes Beers to the inside of Lutz. And now, Emmerling with a little contact will try to take the 3rd spot away in turn 1.
Patrick Emmerling becomes the tail that wags the dog. They clutch and come together like 2 cymbals in an orchestra. And off the turn, back to the stripe they come. It is Beers, but now Beers is stuck in the outside lane. Emmerling is there. Heavy traffic up ahead. Next target becomes car number 3, Tyler Ripkema, running in the 14th position.
Patrick Emmerling showed us strength that he had not flexed for the first 100 laps of this race, and the laps are clicking off in a hurry too. We are only 23 minutes in this race, and we've already clicked off 104 laps with 1 caution flag, and that was for Ronnie Silk, who's well inside the top 10, battling with Justin Bonsignor as they're lapping cousin Kyle off of turn number 4.
Keep your eyes on Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling's car is getting stronger and better. Meanwhile, Beers' car, he's forced to run a much higher line than he was earlier in the event. Lap traffic is deciding all of that. Meanwhile, Beers continues to work the magic. Joey Cipriano Remember, he was involved earlier with Ronnie Silk.
Out of your screen, you saw Tyler Ripkema really hit the wall. He walloped it in turn number 2 about 3 laps ago. Doesn't seem to be affecting the handling of his race car right now, but one must wonder if we see tire issues on the number 3 with this tire conservation race. The number 3 of Ripkema could really see some problems in that car.
Look at Beers. He continues to take back the second spot, but here comes Emmerling. Lutz says he don't want to be left out of the big dance. He tries to follow Beers, Emmerling to the front of the class. Now it appears that Lutz will try to make a run for it. Can't do it. There is the battle perhaps of this event. It's not just for the lead, it is for the running of the Winchester Fair and all of the bonus money up for grabs. And the positions 1, 2, and 3 are all in the hunt.
Car number 64, the young gun out of this one, it is Austin Beers. He has a couple of wins to his credit. He's broken through most recently at Lancaster. That is a flat 1/2 mile track, but he is very versatile. He's extremely strong here on the high banks of Monadnock Speedway. He rides in second, but he has to fight off one of the, if not the hottest driver on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour the last month and a half, and that is Patrick Emmerling. They have really found something in that number 1. He's progressively gotten faster throughout the race, and he currently holds on to the Whelen Granite State short track point standings by merely a couple of points over Matt Hirschman. Matt, on the other hand, doing his part of the deal, and that's just get out front and ride. And right now he has a half a straightaway lead over Austin Beers. The battle is in turn number 4.
Remember, every position on the racetrack represents points. You're looking at Bonsignor. You're looking at the 51, about to put the 3 car down a lap, and where every move that Bonsignor makes, Ronnie Silk does the same pattern. They are coming to the front side by side. You look at timing and scoring, this is what you're going to see. Bonsignor is still 7th. Silk is still in 8th. Why is that so important? They do not need any positions between them. That's how you win a title. You have to stay with your opponent, and that opponent is a battle between Bonsignor and Silk.
Silk has done one heck of a job here tonight, and to think he didn't even make a pit stop. I thought for a second he was going to make a pit stop on lap number 4 when this happened, but he has done everything post-spin past a ton of cars, but definitely has to be feeling it inside that number 16 right now.
Take a look at car number 1 to the outside of your screen. Patrick Emmerling has moved into second, bumping Lutz back to third. Austin Beers, for the first time today, back in the 4th position. Patrick Emmerling, once he got some clean air, you can see the margin. You'll see the yellow and red number 60 car, the leader of the event. And then look at Patrick Emmerling. Last circuit by 9/10 separates first and second. We are on lap number 123 and counting.
Patrick Emmerling doing to Matt Hirschman what Matt Hirschman did to Craig Lutz earlier in the event, and what Matt Hirschman does many weeks to his competitors. That's get behind them and just sit there and watch. Watch where they're strong and just wait for the opportunity to get past. Now, Matt Hirschman probably had the radio or has someone in his ear, spotters, saying, hey, you know what, Emmerling's coming, because he certainly has picked things up about 0.2 of a second in the last half dozen laps. But for a moment, it looked like Patrick Emmerling was going to be stalking Matt Hirschman. And remember, they're battling for the championship in the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. The winner gets $3,000. Second place gets $2,000. And that's on top of the Winchester Fair money for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour.
Hirschman just went around Reese, and that almost upset him. Now Patrick Emmerling, slingshots to the inside. Nothing but air between first and second now. There is plenty of room up ahead. If Emmerling's got to turn up the wick, it's got to happen now. Reese is down off the pace on the bottom. Beers still in 4th. Nacella up to position number 5.
I mean, you know, Ben, you got to think there's going to be a caution flag at some point. They can't run 200 laps in 45 minutes. I mean, if they do, they do. But, I mean, by law of averages, there will be a couple of caution flags towards the end. You get one, you're going to throw another one in there. Further on back in the pack, there's a great battle that continues between Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor. All year long, they have battled for the championship. Right now, they are battling for position number 7 on the racetrack, and here comes Silk to the inside.
Silk tried it, tested the waters, couldn't get the job done. Silk has got a car that he can now put just about anywhere he wants to. He tries it down low. Catalano, car number 54, directly in front of him. Watch this, off the turn. Silk can't do it, pulls back into formation.
You know, if you get a caution flag or two and you give Ronnie Silk a chance to cool down those tires, I mean, momentum is everything in this sport. He has the momentum right now. But you give him a couple of laps to gather his thoughts. Number 16 could change history. Remember, we have never seen a driver who started outside of the top 10 win a Whelen Modified Tour event here at Monadnock Speedway. Silk started 12th. Does not do well at this facility comparatively. And with 4 wins in 2024, you know, he can really turn things around here and make a statement tonight in Winchester, New Hampshire at the fair.
Certainly has, and he's back now in the 7th position. Justin Bonsignor is right there with him as they continue to work their magic and thread through the line of fire. And again, here's another great battle that we're looking at. This is Anthony Nocella in the number 17 car, hunting down the young, talented Austin Beers. Nocella dives to the inside. Can't quite get the job done there. Now he's taking a peek at the outside, trying to do the crossover, running in the tire tracks. That is the battle that is for 4th and 5th position. Tommy Catalano back in 6th. Justin Bonsignor is 7th. Ronnie Silk is 8th. Woody Pitcat up to 9th. And Matt Kimball, first of the hometown boys, he is running in the 10th position.
Nocella was all the way to the inside of Austin Beers about 1 lap ago, slid up the racetrack a little bit, did a great job of keeping it off of the car that was to the outside of him. I was starting to think that if we have a caution flag, I would not be a bit surprised to see Austin Beers hit the pits. He is not nearly as fast as he was in the opening laps, and is sliding. He's in danger of losing the stat of finishing in the top 5 for every single NASCAR Whelen Modified event. He's currently 4th. He could lose that position to Anthony Nocella, who's back on the charge. Meanwhile, the battle is now for 6th with Justin Bonsignor to the outside of Catalano, and he's bringing Ronnie Silk with him.
Bonsignor is right there. Silk continues to apply the pressure, but pressure just isn't good enough yet. Here comes Silk. He saw an opening, couldn't do it. Battle for the 7th position. And now it's do or die time, because believe it or not, we are on lap number 146 on the big board. That means we are coming down to the final 50. What's 50 laps? That's what traditional modified racing started out to be, a 50-lap feature on a quarter-mile racetrack.
Remember Riverhead. Car number 51, car number 16 locked horns for about the 25th time in 2024. These drivers cannot get away from each other, whether they're racing for the lead. In this case, they are racing for 7th. And there are 2 instances that stick out to me when it comes to Ronnie Silk and the determination of the driver number 16. It was last year at Richmond, or excuse me, 2 years ago at Richmond, when he made a bold 3-wide move. He didn't win the race. I don't believe he won that race, but it really made a statement that that team was ready to rebound and really ready to challenge and take their performance up a notch. And tonight, to spin, to fall back to 19th, and to pass these cars under green flag conditions, including some of the best, like his nemesis, Justin Bonsignor. They're going at it in turn number 4 this time.
Not going to happen yet. All of a sudden, he aims the car to the bottom of the racetrack, goes into a 4-wheel drift, gathers it back, but Bonsignor doesn't rattle to the pressures of his arch rival, Ronnie Silk. Hirschman continues to dominate, 153 up on the board in this 200-lap event, and you're watching Justin Bonsignor continuing to battle with Ronnie Silk for the 6th and 7th spot.
These guys are closing in on the top 5, too. They are the fastest drivers, not named Matt Hirschman, on the racetrack. So while they're battling each other, we're talking about Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor. They have both found something in those vehicles, and they're closing in on that bright yellow no-cellar ride in car number 17, who catches some lap traffic at the most unfortunate part of the racetrack. So now they're going to reel it in. It will be a 3-car battle for spot number 5 before too long.
No question, they continue to apply the pressure. Beers is still in that 4th position. Anthony Nocella continues to show why he is among the best short track drivers. He has won titles on the MRS. He has won in midgets. And now he has even won on the Whelen Modified Tour, one of the big paydays. He won at New Hampshire.
We have a very, very interesting race starting to take place here. You have the top 2. Not only are they racing for a championship, but they're also racing for a championship within the championship. You have the number 1 of Patrick Emmerling, who came into this race with a 3-point advantage over Matt Hirschman. He has currently retained that point lead. All he has to do is stay in 2nd, and he will win the 2024 Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. He would become the 3rd different winner in 3 years. Year 1, it was Matt Hirschman. Year 2, Doug Coby. And year 3 could be Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling was not even in the top 5 last year in the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. They really have had a great season, but have turned things up in the second half of the year. He's won 2 of the last 5 races and has found himself inside the battle for the championship. That's the other part of things, Ben, is he's having the best night of all the championship contenders. Emmerling can actually narrow that gap down just a little bit more when they head to Wilkesboro.
No question. Keep your eyes on this as well. And we're down, next time by, 35 laps remaining. And if you're watching at home on Flow, look at the right front brake rotor on the Bonsignor machine. He's got a lot of brake turns into the race car to make it turn.
I really would have thought that would be a Ronnie Silk problem, but Silk has, just really been an ace tonight because he has managed that race car like a boss. If there's someone who deserves to have their rotors glowing right now, it's Ronnie Silk, but you don't see the glow from number 16, and he is stalking Justin Bonsignor. They're both going after Nocella, and they've actually fallen back a little bit. It's a good battle for 6th position.
Certainly is, and they're coming up on heavy lap traffic. Let's go just a little bit further in front of them. Austin Beers is still...
trouble. Turn number 3. 56 goes around.
Car number 56 goes spinning.
Trevor Catalana will bring out the caution flag, and here it is.
The story in this one. Now, remember, when they open up pit road, this is different than any other pit road that you might have seen this season. It's all taking place backstage. And if you look down into turn number 1, everybody in that pit grandstand is now facing a different direction. It's not the racetrack anymore. It's for who, what, and even why will get back out. Because this race, with 170 complete, 30 laps to go and counting, could end up being won in the pit area itself. What is the strategy going to be? Who's going to stay out? Who's going to go in? Remember the story of a one-tire change per caution, per visit to the pits? We're going to see that in just a few short moments.
This is exactly what Ronnie Silk needed. Now look at Silk, and Justin Bonsignor too. They need it for different reasons. Bonsignor needs to cool his rotors down, cool his brakes down. That's going to give him the opportunity to do that. Ronnie Silk has been really a man on a mission for the last 165 laps. He brought out the only other caution flag in turn number 4, came from 19th. He's now just outside the top 5, and he's looking really strong, ready to move up. He could break or he could reverse the curse and win this race by starting outside of the top 10.
Pit lane opens up. Hirschman, Patrick Emmerling, Lutz, along with Beers, all heading in.
Jeez.
And, of course, Nocella. Watch this action. Who's going to be in there the first, the quickest?
Emmerling.
There. Some of the cars have to go around and make the second loop. Riptima's car is also in.
You know, this is just showing my ignorance sometimes when it comes to, or inexperience when it comes to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. I would have stayed out, but then what do I know, right? Everybody who isn't number 21 stayed out, so I'd be fired. Steven Kopsick is the only driver on the racetrack that stayed out.
Patrick Emmerling in for a quick adjustment and a tires change, but Emmerling will make it back out. Now remember, when they come back out, they go back into formation. Nobody gains that much at all from the backstage pit. So did you really lose in this one? I don't think that's the case.
So if I'm Patrick Emmerling and say I had a handling issue, and I don't think he did, but just to paint the picture a little bit, you could literally have issues with your car. Say you were second place, and the unique ripple that we have with this pit road is you could take time to adjust your car properly, come on the racetrack 7th or 8th, and then get the second place position back.
You certainly could. Look at the scoreboard here at the Speedway. 173 has just clicked off a readjustment of the lineup. Car number 1 is being shown as the leader, Patrick Emmerling. Austin Beers moves into second spot, and Justin Monsignor moves up to the 3rd position. Lutz back to 4th. Silk in 5th. Nacella is 6th. Catalano is 7th. And then in the 8th position, Woody Pitcat's coming forward. Matt Kimball, Steven Kopsick, and Joey Cipriano just out of the top 10.
Looking at some of the different strategies and drivers who needed a pit stop for different reasons, I look at Austin Beers, and here's how the race can play into Austin Beers' favor now that we've had the caution. There are 2 different ripples to this. One, he's great at short runs. I don't think there's anybody outside of Matt Hirschman that's actually better on the short run, as evidenced by the opening run the 64 had. He also was having handling issues. So what if those are now taken care of? So you have one of the fastest race cars on the racetrack in essentially a 23 lap sprint to the finish if we stay green. Austin Beers is not out of this one.
Of course, the whole complexion of this event has suddenly changed. They've went in, they've been able to make an adjustment, put on that one tire that is so crucial and so important. And I kind of got to disagree a bit because Patrick Emmerling, he also is a closer. He's in striking distance. He's on the podium in the 3rd spot when they reline up the field. The scoreboard shows him into the 2nd position. Now he's moved into that 2nd spot. Lutz is being shown in the 3rd spot, and Beers is in the 4th position. Let's go down the pit road to Jacqueline.
Always picking his own tires and being the one that goes down and gets the strategy. He said, I've been doing it since I was 16 years old, and he won't let any of his other crew members do it. So he likes to know exactly where the stagger stands and what tire to put on at what time. So that man always has a plan, and him sitting in that 2nd place position, I think we're going to see him be able to be strong in these final laps.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. 177 laps are on the scoreboard. And now Patrick Emmerling in the unenviable position of the outside. Craig Lutz looking to pounce from the inside of row number 2. And he'll spin his tires. Green flag is out. We're racing.
Off the turn, down to the bottom of turn number 1. It is Emmerling to the outside. The meat in the sandwich suddenly becomes Matt Hirschman. Here comes Lutz. Austin Beers goes up the hill in the outside lane. Anthony Nacella moves into the top 4.
The Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup Championship is on the line, and your 2 major players run 1 and 2 on the racetrack. Matt Hirschman sandwiches down the gap to a single point or 2. Then you have Emmerling in 2nd.
Then you go with less than 20 circuits to go. Here comes Patrick Emmerling to the inside, making a bid for the lead. Patrick Emmerling wants the lead, wants the extra money, can't do it, pulls back in the line. Here comes Lutz. Here comes Nacella as they rumble back down to turn 1.
To be in the mind of one Patrick Emmerling right now, the driver of car number 1 that you see on your screen. He's racing for the championship, and Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk tangle again on the front stretch. Oh, no!
It is Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignore coming together. Silk's bad luck continues at the high banks of Monadnock, and Justin Bonsignore is able to get away. Damage does not look too intense.
Unless it's the ego.
And it
Man,
could be.
that was you'll see the replay coming up in just a little bit, I'm pretty sure. But there was definite contact between those two drivers. Whether Silk was out of shape beforehand, let's check out the replay.
Here they are, to the right of your screen. Bonsignore takes it in at a ton. Silk tries to guard the spot. They come together. Mad scramble to get on by. Heartbreaking situation. Silk and Bonsignore, that could be one of the deal breakers in 2024 for the championship title. 185 now complete.
Let's think of this. Who is riding inside spot number 2 right now? That is Patrick Emmerling. While we're going to take one more look at this wreck here. Different angle, or actually same angle, but it's interesting to see. Silk looks like he bobbles a bit mid-corner.
Bonsignore tries to make the move. They come together. All it takes is a touch. And that end results is Silk looking at the eyes of Justin Bonsignore.
Yo, you think they locked eyes? I bet you they did. I bet you they did a stare down right then and there on the camera. Like it's Back to the Future and one of them's Biff.
Now, check this out, because they're still heading back down on pit road, and Jacqueline Drake has got the best seat in the house to cover this action. Silk's car is in. Bonsignore's car is in. And we can see a lot of action going there. Not as many takers this time, Andy.
Well, getting back to the Patrick Emmerling situation, he came into this race 26 markers off the back of Ronnie Silk. So think of all of the ground that he has gained as a result of those two crashing in turn number 4. So not only did one of the Titans fall out of this one, both of them did. So now he has to think about going for a championship. We'll get into that in just a moment here, but let's go down trackside to Jacqueline Drake.
We do have a great seat right here, and being able to look along the pits, and right behind me, Justin Bonsignore came in and changed that right rear tire. The rules are here that every pit stop you can only change one tire. Austin Beers also came in and added in that new left rear tire, but lots of adjustments happening. I will say it has cooled off quite a bit here tonight, so those cars are going to have to be adjusted for that temperature change on the asphalt here at the track.
You know, it's not an illusion that you're watching. The pace has been slowed down. Jimmy Wilson, director, and, of course, the man in charge of the Whelen Modified Tour, stated that in the drivers' meeting. The reason for this is simply the fact that we don't have a pit road here at this racetrack. In order to give everybody the fair opportunity to get in and out of pit road, this would be the suggested deal. That backed it down about 10 miles per hour. And now we are going to be in for a shootout. If you were a gambling individual, Andy, who would you pick to be the winner of the Winchester Fair bonus and the winner of today's event?
It's a story that I was kind of brushing on before we checked into pit road. Patrick Emmerling, what do you do if you are him? You currently have the championship if you stay behind car number 60. Or do you get greedy, go by a driver who's not technically racing for points, get the win, that would be your third of the season, and then put some more ground between yourself and the drivers you're chasing in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Championship? He's actually butchered that down to now the top 3 are within 13 points of each other.
You know, it simply comes down to this. Big picture or medium picture?
I want both pictures.
That's what I think.
I
we've
want
got
it all.
Some contenders in this one that feel the exact same way.
I'm going to Freddie Mercury. I want it all. In car number 1, Patrick Emmerling has a chance to really make a statement. That's the other part. Do you want to show your drivers that you are a statement driver? You win the championship for the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. You win the race, and you become a real championship contender.
There's no question. Here they come. Less than 10 circuits as they fire them back up. Off the turn. Patrick Emmerling. Matt Hirschman, closer than most people park off the turn. Here comes Anthony Nacella, brand new leader Patrick Emmerling. But will it stick?
Here comes Matt Hirschman down to the inside. He spun his tires a little bit off of turn number 4, and that was Patrick Emmerling. And now Hirschman weebles, wobbles, and down to the inside they'll go tire to tire. With that said, here comes Craig Lutz in the black number 46, still anybody's race, and now Emmerling drives it hard into turn 1.
Nacella works his magic in the outside lane. Anthony Nacella puts the Davini race car into second. Hirschman drops back to third. Here comes Woody Pitcat. He's following Lutz to the front of the class.
Holy smokes, Woody Pitcat from 18th starting position, now inside the top 5, the orange car at the back of your screen.
The story could be an upset, or will it be one of the same? Anthony Nacella going for it all in the upper groove. Look at Ronnie Silk. Silk has come back to the 6th position, and with him, his tag team partner, Justin Bonsignor.
I love modified racing for about 5 different reasons on this quarter-mile racetrack, where Patrick Emmerling trying to make the statement win. It would be his 3rd of the season. He would win the Granite State Short Track Cup. He would win the extra $3,000, and he would narrow the gap down in the championship to make it a real 3-horse race inside 20 points with just 1 lap to go, Ben Dodge.
They come off turn number 4. This time by the white flag is out. Let's ride with our top cars down the back straightaway, looking for the extra money, taking it all home from the high banks of Monadnock. Patrick Emmerling has done it. What a great run for Anthony Nacella. Matt Hirschman to finish in 3rd. And then rounding out our field, Craig Lutz in 4th. What a great run for Woody Pitcat for 5. Matt Kimball, the hometown kid, does good to finish in the 6th position. And in the 7th spot, and it was Ron Silk, Justin Bonsignor.
On fire.
Oh, yes, a little bit of heat, and maybe heat of a different time.
So did he throw, I think Ron Silk threw some heat at him, and it stuck on the side of his race car, but it was a flame. Those two had some words on the cool-down lap, the 16 and the 51. And not to overshadow the absolute brilliant performance by the guy who officially enters the chat of the championship. He unofficially wins the NASCAR Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup Championship. He picks up win number 3 on the season, and he narrows the point gap for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour to within 20 points. It's anywhere between 15 and 20 points now. 3 drivers with just a couple of races to go.
And you have to remember one thing. Patrick Emmerling won a major event on the Whelen Modified Tour in years past, and he did it at Bristol. Big tracks are going to work to his advantage. This is a young team and a very successful team, and it is the story. Today, there's the crew chief down there to congratulate him, and it was a great run. And what about Anthony Nacella to finish in the runner-up spot? You're looking at Patrick Emmerling, Mr. Smooth, about to get out of his race car. And this team, everybody doubted at the start of the season.
He's out of the race car as a Granite State Short Track Cup champion, the 3rd in 3 years. It was Matt Hirschman. It was Doug Coby last year, and now Patrick Emmerling adds his name to the Granite State Whelen Short Track Cup and gets closer to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Championship. And this is a statement moment. Looks like we're going to go trackside here momentarily.
Out of the car. You have all smiles right now, Patrick. You had to do some work, though, to make this championship and race win happen. What's going through your mind right now?
Man, that was a really hard race out there. I feel like me and a lot of the guys all race each other like gentlemen up front there, and man, that was a wild one. And there's a lot of, the big. I knew we had a really good car today. The big. It came down to strategy, right? And there was a lot of stuff going on right there at the end, and we kind of stuck to our plan and got it out there, and we were able to make a last couple lap pass there, and a couple guys were charging, and had a lot of fun out there. I'm just so grateful to be running with this FleetWorks #1 team, and I'd like to thank everyone involved, and Rich, and man, it's such a it's just awesome to be able to race with this group, and that's 3 wins out of 4 races. We had a little bit of an off week last week, but we got back in our form and we got back to what we were doing. And I just have to thank this whole team. I mean, absolutely incredible, really exciting win here, and we'll keep on rolling.
You're rolling through tech today, and I said, are you ready to win a championship? And you were able to bring home the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup Championship. What was the key, though, in order to be able to get in front of this field?
We just had to execute. We knew we were going to have a good car coming into the day. We were really fast the last couple races here, and we just wanted to. We just knew we needed to execute and hit the right strategy and get the job done. And we just, we had to, there's races where you have to work, where the driver maybe doesn't have to work as hard. And we had to work hard tonight. So it was just a lot of fun, really fun race, and pretty awesome.
Great job tonight. Patrick Emmerling is going to win the Winchester Fair and the Whelen Cup Championship.
Ben, it was an absolute barn burner of a race. We're just coming up for air now after that. That was an amazing event with Patrick Emmerling winning. Anthony Nocella, an amazing race in second spot, followed by Matt Hirschman, Craig Lutz. Woody Pitcat, give it up for Woody. From 18th starting position, charges into the top 5. That will be his 6th top 5 at Monadnock Speedway in Whelen Modified Tour competition.
And, of course, you have to give credit for Matt Kimball. Let's go down to a very deserving second-place team, Michelle Davini, and a bunch of guys that never gave up.
You have quite the fan base behind you, and even this little guy right here that was cheering you on in the grandstands, finishing here in the second place tonight. What does this mean to you? And talk to me a little bit about how that car was handling for you.
Yeah, it means a lot. There's so many people here. The car's from right up the street, and just means a lot. We lost the car owner earlier in the year, and just his wife just wanted to keep going, let us keep racing, and it means a lot. Second time out with these guys. We had a good car at Loudon, an unfortunate circumstance, and then unload here fast all day. Just keep plugging away. We knew we had a good car, just had to keep it clean and stay up there. But I just gotta thank all them for working hard and giving me a good car. Just gotta thank Michelle Davini, all the guys work on it. Bell Septic, sponsoring us, keeping giving us everything we need. Secor Machine, Sontag Motorsports, Williams Race Gears, Al Johnson Roofing. Everybody Extreme Racing. Just pretty awesome night. We had one shot maybe to move him there, and just I didn't do it, and just got a little too tight there. He got away.
If you had a few more laps, do you think you would be able to get by him?
I don't know. He was just a little bit better there. We put that tire on and just got a little bit too tight there. But, if I could have redid that last restart, maybe change one more thing, we might have had a shot. But, he was just a little bit better at the end.
Congratulations. Anthony Nocella is going to bring it home into second place.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Great job by the 17.
Finisher,
Stuck
the
with
number
it
60,
all week.
Hirschman, who put on quite a show and a dominating performance in really most of the entire race up until those final restarts, even being able to hold throughout those long green flags. How was the 60, though, treating you in the final last 20?
It was, we had a good car. I hate it for the guys to lose a race that way. I just didn't get hooked up as good as I needed to on the late restarts, and then I had the 46 into my back bumper from behind, and I just couldn't get a lap or two to get it hooked up, and that allowed Patrick ahead, and it's disappointing to lose a race that way. I hate it for the team. These elite guys, we had a car that certainly was capable of winning, and I'd have to rethink what we did with our pit stop and that, if that was the right decision, but. Ultimately, like I said, we just couldn't get away, and we had 2 restarts with such few laps to go, and everybody's going to be aggressive, and we didn't come out on the winning end of that tonight.
You say that last pit stop when you changed your left rear tire. Are you saying you shouldn't have changed that?
I just like I said, you always in hindsight, it's always 20/20, and maybe I would do something differently if I had to do it over, but. like I said, I think we would have been okay with just a few laps, but with 2 restarts and such short amount of laps left, I just couldn't quite really get back to where we were prior to that. I mean, probably been best if the race never had a caution the night long run because we were maintaining the lead there. And like I said, it's just you hate to not win when you have a car that's as good as it was and let the team down. It's disappointing.
Well, still a strong night by you, Matt Hirschman, in 3rd place on the podium finishing this evening.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Congratulations to the top 3. You can see the the fireworks that are about to be lit off there on the backstretch. That's coming up in just a few moments. We've had fireworks on the racetrack. We're going to have them in the back of the racetrack. And that's in just a moment. But first, there's a championship to crown. Not only did Patrick Emmerling win the Winchester Fair, and he's a champion of that, he's a champion of the Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup. And let's send it down back trackside to Jacqueline Drake. And before we do that, let's hand the microphone over to JDV Productions CEO and founder, Josh Veneta.
Well, Patrick, congratulations on your 2024 Whelen Granite State Short Track Cup Championship. It looked like you were going to win the duel at the dog here earlier. You dominated much of the race, but you saved the best for last. We're very proud to present on behalf of all the employees of Whelen and all of us with JDV Productions and my family the 2024 championship trophy to you and the entire team. Congratulations.
Boom confetti. Congratulations to Patrick Emmerling for picking up that win. As you watch it live on Flow Racing, you got to love the fact that, there's a storyline of Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor, the back and forth that has happened, and it's really a story that's gone on for a couple of years now. And then you throw someone new, or not necessarily new. I mean, he's a driver who has a lot of history here in the Whelen Modified Tour, but he's just found another lane. And Patrick Emmerling has been lights out great since about June, and now 3 wins in the last 5 races has solidified his standing. And this is, yes, it's a championship night. It's important for this race team for so many different reasons. Championship night for the Granite State Whelen Short Track Cup. It's also the champion. He's also the champion of the Winchester Fair, presented by USNE Power, and he's now officially in the thick of the championship battle. He came in 26 points in arrears to Ron Silk and 16 points behind Justin Bonsignor. With Silk finishing outside of the top 5, same with Bonsignor. He's going to close that gap double digits, so we'll have to wait to see how the points shake out officially and stay close to social media and also NASCAR.com for complete details on how that all shakes out. But really, just doing simple math here, it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the 15-point vicinity between the top 3 drivers headed into the final couple of events in 2024. So North Wilkesboro, you can look at the upcoming schedule if you're watching it on Flow. A couple of big events. We have North Wilkesboro. We have the Thompson Motorsports Park on October 13th. And then the season closes out at Martinsville Speedway just before Halloween on October 26th. All the racing here on Flow, and you can watch the battles continue to heat up. Interesting cool-down lap. There was not any cooling down between Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk. They found each other in turn number 4 late in the race, a racing incident between those 2 drivers, and then some words exchanged on the cool-down lap. That rivalry is just one for the ages. It's one that doesn't just pop up once every 6 or 7 weeks, or hey, this driver either doesn't like this driver or they're close together every once in a while. Every single week, literally, we'll go to North Wilkesboro. Same thing will happen. In Thompson, the same thing will happen. Martinsville, it's going to be epic again on October 26th for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Please stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can light off fireworks during July, and a lot of people do. But how about doing this as we usher in a brand new season, the season of fall? The lights will go out in just a few minutes, and we'll be treated to some great fireworks. So as you let the traffic ease out and you watch from your vehicle. Maybe you've been sitting in the wind all day or just want to warm up, do so from the comfort of your own vehicle and enjoy the show, because when the lights go down, the fireworks really start to kick up. And again, thank you to USNE for being the title sponsor of the second annual Winchester Fair. It has been an amazing afternoon, whether it was the Pro Fours, the mini stocks, and of course the NEMA midgets were amazing as well. And the last couple of days here at Monadnock Speedway have been full of great NASCAR championships, a regional championship, which really tightened up here in just the last couple of minutes. And this race, again, made possible by USNE. They service, they're a leader in repairing and maintaining equipment like transformers and switches. They're a business that is really, really large, and you don't realize how big they are in the hands that they touch throughout northern New England. In your everyday walk of life, you don't even realize that you're dealing with this type of business. And they're behind the scenes, but boy, they're really out front here. And the commitment to Monadnock Speedway and the Winchester Fair this year. It's a sponsorship that was born out of the grandstands, too. And we often talk about how when you hear us as race announcers talk about a sponsor, or you see something on the side of a race car, or you see a banner on the backstretch, next time you're thinking to do business in that facet of life, please do business with the one that supports the thing that you love the most, which is short track racing right here in New England. We thank a lot of you for continuing to do that. And even if you're not in the market for that particular service and you drive by, you meet somebody that is part of that family, they're an employee of that company, just thank them for sponsoring, whether it's an event, a race car, and just continuing to keep the wheel moving here with short track racing in the Northeast. And USNE is something that was born out of the grandstands. I'm going to pause on that story, and let's get ready to enjoy an amazing fireworks display. And again, congratulations to Patrick Emmerling for winning the race. So that will do it from the Monadnock Speedway. It is Winchester's, the Winchester Fair 200 on Flow Racing. On behalf of Ben Dodge, my name's Andy Austin. It's been a blast to do this event, and we'll see you again real soon on Flow Racing.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted,